Yeah. It is same? It is. It is days now, I guess. That's pretty neat. Anyway, let's see, last time oh yeah, I kidnapped Mion. Now I'm gonna torture her and make her think that she's Shion. And I'm gonna assume the role of Mion. I was having such a happy dream. Satoshi-kun was in the dream. He was living his normal everyday life. He was back on the baseball team. Ivy and I acted normally around him, because we knew that's how mature people should act. We welcomed him back as if he had been here with us the whole time. Why did that take so long to say that? Although he hit well in practice sessions, he still doesn't do well in a real game. Come on, Satoshi-kun. 3 strikes already? I'm cheering for you. And Satoshi-kun pouted as he mumbled. I felt tears pouring down my face. Oh. Sniff, sniff. Satoshi-kun. Oh, oh. The happy dream faded with my sobs. The harder I tried to focus on it, the faster it faded. Soon it was all gone. I could see the bright morning sun through a crack in the curtains. I was in Mion's room at the Shinozaki house. When did I come back? I was crouching in the corner of the room and crying. Does this mean I'm gonna see, Rika-chan and Satoko's death? Also, I'll get to see myself stabbing Kichi and having an argument with Mion/Shion. Then maybe I'll see the ending too, because Kichi died on the hospital bed, didn't he? Or something happened there, I don't know really what. Maybe he had like a mental breakdown. I was crouching in the corner of the room and crying. A dream is a dream. I wish I hadn't woken up, but one must wake up from a dream. We live in a world where there are no dreams, and that's why we always wake up. But I wasn't sure if I was the only one dreaming that dream, because I felt like Satoshi-kun was right beside me. Satoshi-kun? Did you come back? Probably not. There was no reply. That was the rule. If it was Satoshi-kun, I wished he would smile at me just once. But Satoshi-kun's presence faded away, as if he was never there to begin with. I heard the phone ring by the front door. Ah, that's right. I was the only one in the house right now. I had to answer it. I got up to walk to the front door. I felt, unsteady, as I put my hand on the wall to support myself. I hardly got any sleep. From the tips, it seems like I've been living here for a while, but I'm guessing this is like just the night after before I got used to this lifestyle. It was like I had a bad cold. The, phone continued to ring. Probably didn't have to answer it actually, but I was still half asleep and all I could think of was answering the phone. Hello, Shinozaki residence. Sorry to call you so early, it's Kimiyoshi. Is your grandmother still asleep? It was Uncle Kimiyoshi. She is, yes. I guess she's still tired from yesterday. I think I'll let her sleep in. Yeah, you probably should. Mion-chan, you're going to school, right? Can I leave a message with you? Sure, what is it? Let's see. There will be an emergency meeting regarding the incident from yesterday. It'll be at the Shrine Assembly Hall, starting at 5 p.m. Did you get that? Yes. I'll give her the message. As soon as I put the phone down, it rang again. Hello, Shinozaki residence. Good morning, sorry to call you so early. This is, Keisei. Is this Mion-san? Good morning. Keisei-san. Good morning. Is Shion-san there? Still there? I wasn't panicked, but I hesitated. I could tell him no, or I could play both Mion and Shion. Shion was washing her face just now. I'll, get her for you. Is that why Shion disappears really early on, so he doesn't have to play both roles anymore? I decided to play both parts. I went back and forth down the hallway and picked up the phone again. Keisei, good morning. Good morning, Shion-san. Are you going to school today? It makes me think, in chapter 3, Mion started to be emotional about it as well. About, Kichi. Does Mion care about Kichi that much? I don't know. Because Mion was making it sound like, she was the one who got the phone call, but Shion's the one who got the phone call. So was that Shion in chapter 3? Well, this is based on chapter 2, not chapter 3, so it doesn't really matter, but it's still interesting. Good morning, Shion-san. Are you going to school today? Of course not. I feel miserable. I kind of expected that. By the way, how are you getting back to Akinomiya? I can have someone come pick you up. I think I can get a ride from Uncle and Kimiyoshi or somebody else. Don't worry, I'll figure something out. Your father told me to make sure you go back to school often enough. I would appreciate your cooperation. Hehehehe. I'll go when I feel like it. By the way, Keisei, did you hear? What about? You know the incident from last night? Yes, I have. That's truly horrifying. Wait, does that mean that I was bluffing? In chapter 2 when I said I'll show you the dragon of the demon on my back? All the past victims were war criminals from the dam conflict, right? But it's different this year. What do you think about that? I don't really know. Casey wasn't the type to talk too much. If it was about something complicated, he usually responds like that. Do you know why those two fell under the curse of Orishida-sama? No. I heard this last night. Supposedly they snuck into the ritual's storehouse during the festival. They used a metal wire or something to unlock the door. Casey went silent for a while. I held my breath while waiting to see how he responded. I expected him to say that he couldn't believe those people chosen as victims just for sneaking into a storehouse. I expected him to say that it was just too unrealistic. I see. That was stupid of them. Since Tommy-san was an outsider, I bet he didn't know. I went along with Casey, but I felt disturbed on the inside. Casey didn't wonder why breaking into the ritual storehouse would justify their deaths. I'd known Casey for a long time, which is why I knew there was a heavy meaning to what he said. By the way, Casey, actually, I did it too. Did you go in? Yeah. You went into the ritual storehouse? Shion-san? Yeah. Takano-san invited me. Takano-san, Tommy-san, and remember Kichi, who just moved in recently? Him and me and to make 4 of us. I heard Casey sighing heavily. Even though he didn't say a word, I could tell he was shocked. I would never know him to act this way before. Shion-san, don't you remember what happened last year? How do you think you can take care of this? Last year it was 3 nails, so maybe 5 this time? Sorry, I wasn't trying to make light of the situation. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I regret it at least a little, but is it really that terrible a thing to do? You're related to the Shinozaki main families. Do you really think people would understand? But I've been living in Akinomiya all my life. Since the hag hates me, I've barely been to Himezawa. Besides, I was stuck at school. How would I know about any of that? I heard another side from Keisei. That side told me my excuse would be useless. Shion-san, I'm your ally. I want to support you as much as I can, but there are dangers even I can't protect you from. Besides, sorry, sister's here, I've gotta go. See ya. Heck, I interrupted Casey and hung up. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear Casey reject me. He who had been my ally all my life. Shit. Damn it. I could hear the sound of the cicadas. The sound made it feel like I was being cooked on a huge frying pan, making a sizzling noise. I couldn't help feeling remorseful. Now I knew that sneaking into the ritual storehouse wasn't a laughing matter, but I really didn't know it at the time. Sure the door was locked, so they didn't want anyone to go in. Then, why did they change the lock? What did they say? I think it was that Rika-chama said that the previous lock was too heavy for her, so she had to change it to that cheap one. That was how Takano-san broke in. If the heavy lock was still there, this wouldn't have happened. I slapped my own forehead. Then I took a deep breath. I had to calm down. What's the point of fussing now? I'd already passed the point of no return. There's no use thinking otherwise. The hag was already dead. Even if she wasn't, she was now at the bottom of the well. Therefore, it was already past the point where I could just cut my finger off it in an apology. I felt so unstable. I'd walked on the fence around the swings at the park before, as if I was walking on a tightrope. It was fun, because even if I fell, it was only a very short distance, but it wouldn't have been fun if I were up really high. At that moment, I was in fact over there on a tightrope. I was a lot higher than the fence at the park. As soon as I took a step, the rope behind me would vanish. I couldn't step back because there was nothing behind me. That was, in short, the current situation I found myself in. I wonder if Rika-chan is going to put on that smug face once I capture her, and it's gonna be like, oh, it's okay, I already knew this is gonna happen. Because she's apparently Orishida-sama's apostle or whatever, so she just knows everything. Descendant, I don't know. She is Orishida-sama. Just standing in on one spot was all I could do. Even if I never took another step, I would fall if I wasn't careful. If I forced myself to walk, the danger would only increase, but if I didn't move, I would fall eventually. I couldn't see what was ahead of me. There was no guarantee that I would ever find firm ground. But if I stopped, there was only one fate waiting for me. I have to move forward onwards. If staying here guaranteed death, then I'd rather try to walk, even if I would die as a result. Even if there was a dead end ahead of me, at least I tried my hardest. In general, I tried to be optimistic. I could accept my life not lasting particularly long, but I wouldn't go easily. I'd struggle as much as possible. I'd already killed a hag. For that, there could be no other punishment than death. I knew my life would end soon. In other words, I was actually already dead. A dead person has nothing to lose. That means I could only go on the offensive. I clenched my fist tightly as I muttered. Even if I had to die, I couldn't die easily. This was my chance to avenge Satoshi-kun. Who did it? For what purpose and why? I was going to investigate. I was going to question. I was going to expose. Yes, I was going to settle the score. I would carry out the plan I came up with yesterday. I could hide the hag's death somehow. All I'd have to say is that the hag, is that she, hadn't been feeling well since watching Higurashi. I could do, all while pretending to be Mion. Just in case friends, at school become suspicious, maybe I'd start telling them I hadn't been feeling well either. In fact, I did feel groggy from my lack of sleep. When I became a Mion, Shion would automatically disappear. I'd already told Casey that I snuck into the shrine storage, so it'd probably end up telling people that I was demoning it away due to the curse of Orishida-sama. Oh yeah, that happened early in the chapter, didn't it, with you going to your work and stuff, but now you're literally taking over her position. The last person I had to think about was the fourth one who snuck into the ritual storehouse, Kichimabara. Maybe I could use him as bait to lure out the enemy. Sorry, Ki-chan, you're going to be my bait. Felt a little bad since I was starting to like him. Do that, figured out, let's go to school. I'd gone to school as Mion before, so I knew how things worked out. How things worked. It was almost time to leave the house. Mi-chan, you're late. Hey, Rina. Ha, ha, ha. You waited? Ha, ha. You should have just gone on ahead. Hey, Mion. Your face is red. You're breathing heavily, too. I remember this. Mi-chan, are you not feeling well? Rina put her head on my forehead. Rina, your hand is pretty cold. Mi-chan, you're a little warm. It's no big deal. You give it half a day and I'll be as fit as a fiddle. Are you really okay? You don't have to push yourself, you know. What's this? Ki-chan, are you worried about me? Haha, that's nice of you. I'd always thought he was a goofball, so I was a little surprised. I thought they would tease me, but they didn't. I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. We can tell the teacher you had to take the day off. I'm fine, I'm fine. I took some medicine. I think it's already working. Okay, then let's go. Don't overdo it. But of course there's the time. I forgot when you told Vika, was it the second day or the first or the second day? I don't remember. Cause Shion supposedly told Mayor Kimiyoshi on the first day. Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill Mayor Kimiyoshi. Forgot about him. Okay. Oh, then that means you tell Vika on the second day. So I guess that's next chapter. Okay then, let's go. Don't overdo it. But of course there's the time. What? We need to run or we won't make it. This morning got pretty thrilling. Maybe it's just what I need to shake off this sluggishness. Let's run. President, if you would. Ah, everyone stand up. At attention. I made the same mistake before. I never learn, do I? Do you think Michan is doing okay? She doesn't look good. Hello, Satoko. Oh, really? How unfortunate. It was a good idea to make them believe I was sick. Even if I did things differently from Mion, I had an excuse. Well, you know, girls have those days when they just don't feel well. I don't have those days. Mipa. Mion's friends kept each other occupied and left me alone. Kichi Mabata. You might suddenly disappear one day. I couldn't let that happen. That would be like letting a fish take the bait and swim away while I was fast asleep with a fishing pole in my hands. I could have missed the opportunity. I could have missed the moment. The enemy took a bite out of Kichi. I had to be very careful. But it was impossible to keep my eyes on him 24/7 a day. 24 hours a day. Spying on him at school, this wasn't good either, and wasn't good enough. Should I have him meet with Shion and let her explain that he's in danger? Maybe we could set up a strategy together. I didn't think Kichi realized how serious a crime it was to step into the ritual storehouse. I hadn't after all. Since last year, all the incidents that related to the curse had probably been investigated in secret. People involved with the three families would know about the incident from last night, but Kichi shouldn't know anything. If he knew where he stood now, he would be more cautious too. That should make him aware of his surroundings, and maybe he would notice if anything odd took place. The teacher caught him sleeping, so she ordered him to go wash his face. He walked out into the hallway. I was sleepy too. I had to be alert, but I couldn't clear my mind due to my lack of sleep. I decided to go home early. So since I had been pretending to be sick since morning, my request was approved. As I exited the building, I saw Kichi washing his face. I thought you'd be out here. It feels better outside, huh? Mion? Yawn. And Noka in class now. It looked like it felt refreshing for him to wash his face with cold water. I washed my face too, but it didn't feel as good as it looked. Mion, how is your cold doing? You're sleepy because of the medicine, not from the lack of sleep, yeah? Actually, this is a secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in the party my relatives were having. And well, I had a bit. Gulp. I pretended to drink with an invisible glass. It's really weird to see this from the opposite side. Because I'm having a very weird, strange sense of deja vu. Are you hungover? How old are you? Kichi exaggerated his reaction, but he still seemed worried. Okay, later I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. I don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it? Kichi turned around to go back to the classroom. Oh, one more thing, Kichan. I stopped Kichi. He in response turned around. Am I gonna ask him about the ritual storehouse? What's up? This may sound weird, but don't think too hard about it. Well, it depends on what it is. Last night near the end of the festival, did you see Tomitake-san or Takana-san anywhere? What's that face? I noticed Kichi's body tense up. His reaction proved that he felt guilty about sneaking into the ritual storehouse. He was frightened that Mion Shinozaki might know about it. I guess this was enough to give him a certain impression of Mion Shinozaki. You know Tomitake-san and Takana-san, don't you? Remember, Kichan, when the four of you were talking during the setup day before? I could clearly see how dismayed Kichi felt. He was trying to come up with an excuse. I can't remember. I might have seen them or not. He was both a bad liar and a bad actor. He wasn't really that intelligent at all. Well, that would make him a suitable friend for Mion. He was just a brat unlike Satoshi-kun. Although, when it came to lying and acting, Satoshi-kun was at about the same level. Maybe Kichi should be accredited for at least trying to tell a lie. Satoshi-kun wouldn't have even said a thing. I didn't need to be thinking about him right now. I see. Then one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion? This was a very mean question. Kichi was perplexed as I'd expected. Didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you I wasn't sure if I had or not. Eh? I'd asked him that yesterday? He must have meant that Mion Shinozaki asked him that question. In other words, you asked him that after he left the storehouse and got back together with his friends. Damn you, Mion. When I asked her, she said she had no idea you went to the ritual storehouse. Shit. Did you? I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again. Did you? You mean did I? Oh, why are you so intent on knowing if I did or not? He was getting defensive. Kichi couldn't hide his panic as he flared up at me. Oh, they meant did you see Shion? It's not important. It's just that there are some people who are speaking poorly of Tomitek, Dekan-san, Shion, and Yuki-chan. I didn't really hear about what they were saying though. Kichi was really perplexed now. This wasn't fun at all, but it could still be an interesting game. I don't believe that you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay? I made sure Kichi felt a sense of crisis and I left. Nobody can tell us apart where Mion and Shion, perfect twins. Notebook, page 186. Twins usually aren't this perfect. Very, unique situation, I guess. When I returned to the Shinazaki house, I saw a woman with an apron on. It was a housekeeper. Her name was, Shimiko-san. The hag had a few housekeepers who took care of the chores around the house. Ah, Mio-chan, I'm glad you're here. Hey, Shimiko, um, Shimi, Shimiko-san, can I help you? Today was her turn to come help out the house. She'd arrived, but the gate was locked and she couldn't get in. She'd called, but there was no answer, so she had just been standing there not knowing what to do. Something must have happened to Granny at the festival. She's been in an evil mood ever since last night. Ah, I see. Shimiko-san tried to remember if she had done something wrong. She wasn't ignoring you, she's just sleeping. She was, up until very late, so I bet she can't wake up yet. You know how she is, right? Once she gets into this mood, it'll take a long time for her to be happy again. Yes, that's too bad. I think it might be better that you don't show up for a while. Even if you don't mean to upset her, Granny might take it the wrong way. Just let me take care of it. I see. Are you sure? I'm very grateful, though. Sorry to make you do this, but could you let the other housekeepers know that they don't need to come for a while either? When Granny feels better, I'll give you a call. So, let's just leave her alone for now. Shimiko-san, bowed, then left on her bicycle. Anyone who has experienced Granny's wrath would understand. Headed into Mion's room, set up her alarm clock for 2 p.m., and crawled into her bed. I needed to recover quickly. I had to be sharp, calm, and cool-headed. School should be out by 2 p.m. Maybe I'd get in touch with Kichi. I'd have to, call him. There would be a staff meeting at the Furudu Shrine, Assembly Hall in the evening. All the leaders of the three families, the relatives, and the, town council members, would gather at this meeting. There were authority figures in Himezawa. I'd be attending in place of the hag who was sick. I'd worry about, the rest when I got there. People shouldn't notice that Mian and the hag were missing for a long time. I didn't need to worry as I had plenty of time. I checked the alarm clock once more, then fell asleep as if someone switched me off. Am I going to see Miyoshi then before I kill him? Hello? This is, Shinazaki, well, the younger one. Hello? Do you have time to talk right now? Shion, I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover, same as Mion. Oh, I'm calling Kichi. What? My sister has a hangover? That's so like her. Kichi had no idea that the Mion he saw earlier was actually me. He didn't know us when we talked in person, so there's no way he would know us on the phone. I never knew that playing two roles would be so much fun. To feel such enjoyment in this game of life and death, maybe I was getting used to the situation. Maybe my sense had grown numb. Oops, sorry. My parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need? There's something I want to talk about, but if you can't talk for long, I guess that's that. Then how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that'd be great. You mean the public library near the station? Yeah, that's fine. I go past there on my way to work anyway. We decided to meet up in Akinomiya. It wasn't easy to get there from Himezawa, but I had to hurry. I couldn't run into Kichi as, he was heading there himself. I recalled that the key to the hag's motorcycle, was in her secret drawer. Dag usually got driven around for public events, but when she had her own event, she rode her motorcycle. Kichi, I assumed, was going to ride a bicycle. I tried to get to Akinomiya before he did. Kichi arrived quite a bit later than me. Motorcycles are faster after all. There was hardly any traffic to worry about on the way there either. Whoa, Mion never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly, making my sister the standard for everything would get you in trouble. Hmm? You're a little unsteady. You were drinking last night too, weren't you? Don't try to hide it. You definitely went home from school early. Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day from the beginning. I'm smarter than my sister after all. Hey now, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter. You should finish your errand first. We don't have that much time. We're going to the library, right? Yeah, thanks. My mom had to return some books by today. Is the library far? No, it's right nearby. I meant it when I said we didn't have much time. I had to hurry. I had to hurry a little. I was just going to talk to him on the phone, but I ended up going all the way to Akinomiya. I thought Tokichi would slowly head back to Mizawa on his bicycle. I had to rush back there while making sure I didn't run into him. Otherwise, I couldn't make it on time for the meeting. Maybe I could be a little late, but since I needed to hear everything they were going to discuss, I didn't want to be. This was the Shinobon Public Library. It was sizable, filled with a collection of moldy, smelly books, but it did have an air conditioning and it was quiet. It was the perfect place for when you wanted to be alone. After Satoshi-kun disappeared last year, I came here a lot to think about various things. This was where I first met Takano-san. I didn't want to run into her with Kichi and Tao, but then I remembered that she was already dead. The first floor of the building was occupied by government offices. The library itself was on the second floor, so we had to walk up a large staircase to get there. I tasted a cold air on my skin as soon as I walked through the automatic door. Unlike outside, it was very quiet in here. The room temperature was both comfortable and suitable for books. I could smell the scent of old pages. All libraries smell the same. Kichi walked up to the return table after he said so. Because it was a weekday, there was hardly anyone around. It was really very quiet. I was going to chat about some ordinary things, then move on to the main subject. After Kichi returned to the books, I invited him to the inner section of the library. Kichi never knew me well, but he didn't know me at all. He showed an interest in our life story. This was exactly where Takano-san told me about the true history of Himizawa a year ago. I was about to tell Kichi about things that were very similar to that. Did God have a sense of irony? Now that you mention it, that toy store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. Does that mean they operate Angel Mode too? I told him the reason why the Shinozaki family was so powerful in this area. I wonder how I learned about the doll. Maybe Mion told me about it. Maybe Venus gonna tell me about it. Assume that since Kichu came from the city, there's a good chance he couldn't even begin to understand how one old family could literally control an entire area. Unless I explained to him how powerful the Shinozaki family was, he wouldn't understand what kind of danger was bounding towards him. The family is particularly strong in finance and real estate. Even a lot of members of the Chambers of Commerce and industry either have the last name Shinozaki or their relatives. There are Shinozakis in the family, in the councils, the city council, and the Peculiar Assembly too. They have the Akinomiya area giving them a strong electrical, no, I keep saying it wrong. Electoral support. Why do I keep saying electrical? Electoral. Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. Your relatives operate shops in downtown Akinomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. On top of that, a lot of people in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and there are even some elected to local offices. Kichi counted with his fingers. He was clearly surprised to hear all about the Shinozaki family. He seems he was flexible enough to accept even something that sounded outrageous to him. He was starting to understand things, although slowly, the way he viewed Shinozaki was changing little by little. That should be enough background information now. I could go on to explain about Mion Shinozaki the successor. Then I'd change the subject like Takano-san did with me. I'd go to talk about the curse of Orishida-sama and then the series of mysterious deaths. So then, the Shinozaki family, it's pretty famous in this area. Yep. Crazy, isn't it? Batman with a cigarette suddenly cut into our conversation. Ushi? Why was he here? Hello, a good afternoon. Are you on a date today? Oh, what odd good to be young again. If, if you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us, Ushi-san? What timing? It couldn't be a coincidence. I knew this man too well. He was crafty, sly, and clever. His presence here just couldn't be a coincidence. Did he see us somewhere in town and follow us? But why? Did he need something from me, Kichi, or perhaps the both of us? From what I could guess, I didn't think it was me that he wanted something from. It was almost like he was trying to keep Kichi away from me. Kichi was aware I gave a false testimony to protect Hitoshi last year. Maybe he didn't think he could talk to Kichi if I was around. Why did Ushi need to talk to Kichi? It must be about the incident from yesterday. I'm sure there was plenty of playing girl officers at the festival, so they had to have a scene who was last for the victims. And there was Kichi and me. But Ushi knew I was hard to deal with. That was why he was focused on Kichi at present. Why did he have to show up at a time like this? Ibata-san, right? You're one tough guy. Two-timing the Shinozaki sisters, are you? No, I'm not two-timing anyone. Kichi looked at me hoping for assistance. He blushed the way he panicked. He blushed. The way he panicked reminded me of Satoshi-kun. That aside, this wasn't going well. Ushi might even start talking about my relationship with Satoshi-kun. I didn't want to, nor did I want Kishi to have any preconceptions. Ushi took a quick glance at me. His eyes told me something. He was purposely talking about the things I'd rather not talk about. He was basically telling me to leave or to continue on to something that was worse than what they were currently talking about. He didn't use words, but his eyes clearly communicated that anyway. Damn that big fat weasel. I'm sorry, Ki-chan. I really do need to get to my job. Huh? Oh, you do? I realized that I wouldn't achieve anything like this, even if I stayed longer, so I used my part-time job as an excuse to leave. Ushi looked at me and grinned. Damn it. You won today, but I'll win next time. Wait. Didn't you have something to talk about today, Shion? Yep, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be okay to call at night, right? Yeah, probably okay. Then I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye. Higurashi, when they cry. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's really strange to see this from the opposite sides. So I'm gonna kill Kimiyoshi, then I'm gonna call Kichi afterwards. Jack's motorcycle had become my primary means of transport. My next stop was the staff meeting at the Furuji Shrine Assembly Hall. It's easy to imagine how a normal meeting would play out if we were just celebrating the end of Higurashi. But today's staff meeting was likely going to be as strained as the Shinozaki family councils. Yes, this staff meeting was going to deal with the heart of Himizawa. I couldn't let my guard down even for a moment. I rested for a while at the house, then left for the meeting. I walked up the long stairs to the Furuji Shrine. At the top, I saw some elderly men smoking in front of the hall. Since I had a minor fire a long time ago, it had been made into a non-smoking area. Is that Mion-chan? The head of the Kimiyoshi family, Uncle Kimiyoshi, noticed me and waved. He must not have expected Mion to come alone. Normally it would have been either the hag by herself or Mion tagging along as an assistant. Granny's in a terrible mood since the incident last night. She's been staying in bed and won't even let me go get near her. They all understood how troublesome she was when she was in a bad mood. They smiled bitterly in sympathy. So you're here as the Shinozaki family representative then? Has Ovia told you anything? Sort of. What do you mean, has Ovia told you anything? That line by itself didn't really explain much. The staff meeting was usually led by the mayor, the head of the Kimiyoshi family, and he would ask me as the substitute for the Shinozaki family head if I'd heard anything from her. I then realized who was supposed to lead today's staff meeting. Uncle, no, Kimiyoshi-san. Do I really have to lead the meeting today? According to the ranking order of the family council, any substitute for the Shinozaki family head is above the Kimiyoshi family head. In other words, I would have to lead today's meeting. There's no way I could do that. Don't worry, I'll do it. You can just take a seat, Mion-chan. If there's anything you've heard from Mario, just let us know, okay? Kimiyoshi, why don't we get started? Everyone's here now. The smokers put out their cigarettes and went back into the hall. The tables were set in a horseshoe shape, and I was told to sit next to the seat reserved for the chief. The seat opposite mine was empty. Considering its location, it was probably for the Furudu family's head, Rika Furudu. But somebody said earlier that everyone was already here. Either Rika-chama was ordered absent, or the empty seat was just a formality. Knowing the subject of this meeting, I don't think that the Furudu family would even want to attend. Even if Rika-chama actually attended, she wouldn't be able to say anything. All she would usually do at the Shinozaki family council was draw pictures on a notepad. She would probably end up drawing pictures in this meeting too. Besides, they probably didn't want her to hear anything unpleasant. In this way, the empty Furudu family seat was easily explained. When everyone was seated, the head of the Women's Association served tea. She gave me an evil look, trying to tell me to help out. I got up and did so. After that, everyone fell silent, and the secretary stood up. Everyone, thank you for coming today on such a short notice, despite your busy schedules. Let's start with a few words from the mayor. Go ahead, please. Please excuse me for staying seated. Ken-chan, you stay seated too. Thank you for coming today. Also, you did a great job at watching Higurashi yesterday. The festival was a great success. As usual, there weren't any mishaps. Lots of villagers came, and I believe it was good on the whole. Let me see, how many people was it? According to the Imperial General Headquarters report, approximately 5,000 people showed up. 5,000, that's a lot. Compared to how it was like a couple of years ago when it was just like a small party. Oh haha, everyone laughed except me. I hope we'll continue to work together to carry on this tradition. I appreciate your cooperation. Clap, 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 clap. A pub with only 8 people doesn't sound so great. Okay, let's move on to today's proceedings. Kimiyoshi-san will lead the meeting today. Please applaud if you approve. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you. Then, with your approval, Mayor Kimiyoshi will take over. Please go ahead. Thank you, Ki-chan, Ken-chan. Let's start now. Sorry, can you close the curtains? Everyone's closed the curtains nearest to them. The sun was still up, but until the curtains closed, the room became very dark. The village chief explained the details of the incident as well as what went on with the police. A police vehicle discovered Tomitake-san's body on its way back to Okinomiya last night. Ushi's special curse unit was standing by, expecting something to happen for the 5th time, so they responded quickly. Since Tomitake-san and Takano-san were rarely apart, Ushi got in touch with the neighboring Peculiar Police Department and asked them to look for her. As a result, they found a burnt body of a woman in the mountain of the Gufu preference, and the body was then identified as Mion Takano. You know, Mio, I don't think she was found in chapter 1, right? Was she found in chapter 2 and chapter 3, though, I think. And then chapter 4 was just, the Riku one, and this is chapter 5, isn't it? So, I guess she wasn't found in the first one, but she was found in the, 2 preceding it. I don't know. Considering the circumstances, the police ended up labeling the incident as the 5th of the ongoing series of mysterious deaths. When he finished, there was dead silence. I watched to see who would speak first. Nobody said a thing. Then I noticed Kimiyoshi-san looking at me. This was where the head of Shinozaki family would speak. Mion-chan, has Obio said anything about this whole thing? Everyone looked in my direction. I was sure they would see the hag in me. I'm Mion Shinozaki, acting head of the Shinozaki family. I'm here in place of Obio, the current head. Thank you for having me. I became Mion. I tried to become as cold and unfeeling as the Mion I witnessed a year ago. That cold version of Mion was inside of me. That was me. I was her. Unfortunately, the curse of Oshiro-sama has come to pass for the 5th year. This is deeply regretful. Everyone was held captive by my words. I wasn't a little girl anymore. The hag was speaking through my mouth. They all heard me and trembled in fear. Does anyone know why the curse happened again this year? After my question, everyone whispered to each other. I will tell you. It was because they broke the rule of the ritual storehouse and disgrace the sacred grounds within. How dare they? A few elderly men got up and yelled, "The fools! I can't believe this. They deserve to be killed. Orishida-sama, please calm your anger. Oh my, how did that happen? Orishida-sama, this is why we hate outsiders. They just don't think. They're just too stupid. They got what they deserved. It was their own fault." The angry old men yelled even as they trembled in fear. Their sudden change scared me more than a little. Even Uncle Kimiyoshi, who was usually so gentle and sweet, became like a demon of war, cursing those who broke the rules of the ritual storehouse. It had become like a raging ocean inside the assembly hall. Their yells spun about like a whirlpool. They roared, crashed, and howled. Even while doing nothing but watch, I could feel myself turning pale. Mion threatened me yesterday, and Casey had been shocked this morning. What I saw before me was similar to that. Even the sweet and gentle Uncle Kimiyashi was saying they deserved to die. I was fearful of the sudden change in those elderly men. More than anything, the fact that they all believed that those people deserved to die for trespassing is what terrified me. It wasn't just that, of course. The real thing I was scared of was that I was one of the people they wanted dead. In other words, it was almost like they were telling me to die of the curse. If they were to find out I snuck into the ritual storehouse, it was very possible that they would strangle me on the spot. Actually, they may not kill me that easily. But then I was certain, the people in this room were true believers in Orishida-sama, just like the hag. They wouldn't hesitate to murder whoever made Orishida-sama angry on his behalf. Even if they didn't carry out the killing themselves, they would pretend they didn't see anything. Yes, not even if my head was cut off right in front of them. Everyone here would act in a conclusion and say I never attended today. If they all testified that they waited and I didn't show, I would be demoned away. It would be far too easy for them to erase someone and have them disappear. There was no mistake. People linking the hag and the curse were definitely here at this meeting. I continued speaking. I was Mion Shinozaki. I was on the side responsible for the curse. Therefore, at that moment, I didn't need to worry about anything. Nobody could tell the difference between Mion and me, and that's what would keep me safe. Please be silent. Hey, quiet down. Uncle Yorishiro helped me to quiet everyone, but his tone was violent. He really scared me. Everyone gradually became silent. In fact, it was 4 people who stuck into the storehouse. 2 more remain. People once more became restless upon hearing that, but Uncle Yorishiro yelled at them again, and they settled down. Tomitake-san and Takano-san were old enough to be made responsible for their own poor judgment. As a result, the curse of Orishida-sama fell upon them immediately, but the other 2 were simply children. The curse has yet to fall upon them, but there will be some kind of punishment. Everyone stayed quiet this time. They had all turned genuinely pale, trying not to miss a word I said. After all, they were all thinking that the kids I mentioned could be their own relatives, or even grandchildren. They wanted to know who they were, to put their minds at ease. The other 2 stuck into the ritual storehouse were Shion Shinozaki and Kichi Mabara. I could feel the air getting drier. It was so dry, it almost felt like it was going to start making a crackling noise. Shion Shinozaki has, already. I couldn't even hear the old people breathe. I took a peek at Uncle Yoshida who was sitting next to me. He adored Shion as if she were his own granddaughter, but she had been demoted away. I wanted to see how distressed and sad he would look. I wanted to saw his face. I felt a sensation on my back, as if my skin itself was making a crackling noise. What, was he angry? He didn't even have an expression on his face. Uncle Yoshida adored me. I loved him and thought he loved me too. That was why I expected him to be silent after learning that I met such a cruel fate. What was I thinking? The memory of his warm smile shattered inside of me. There's no way of describing the fear I experienced in that moment. In mere words, he had suddenly changed into someone I didn't even recognize. Uncle Yoshida noticed me looking at him and spoke. What about Kichi Mabara? Not yet. I had to take a deep breath to regain my composure. All 4 stuck in the ritual storehouse will suffer Orishida-sama's curse. Kichi Mabara is no exception. Chilling looks, cruel looks, emotional looks, skewed looks, and the looks of people who were about to snap. I could feel the demons are chewing my words while they stared at me with their sharp eyes. I could see some of them sticking their snake-like tongues in and out. I could see flames in some of their eyes. They were memorizing the names of the intruders the curse had yet to fall upon. And so the meeting went on. We were told not to tell the police too much, to report what they asked us, and to hold another meeting whenever something of significance happened. If something unexpected took place, we were to get in touch with either the head of the Kimiyoshi family or the head of the Shinozaki family for instructions on what to do. With those closing remarks, the meeting was over. I think they did know, right? It's already getting dark outside. Being in a valley surrounded by mountains, once the sun went down in Himazawa, it got dark quickly. Because, like, it seemed Mian would be able to figure it out that Kichi snuck in. And if Kichi's expression was that obvious, like I saw earlier, then he'd probably be able to figure out that Mian also snuck in. Once the sun went down in Himazawa, it got dark quickly. Even if it was hot during the day, it would cool down quickly at night. Rowdy people said goodbye to each other and left on their bicycles, on their motorcycles, or in their cars. Uncle Yoshida waved them goodbye and started to head home himself. I called out to him, Kimiyoshi-san, do you have plans after this? I called him Kimiyoshi-san instead of Uncle Yoshida. He stopped. No, I don't have anything planned. Can you stop by my house? Does Ovio want to see me? Yes. She wants to talk to you about something in person. Okay, I'll stop by. Uncle Kimiyoshi arrived at the Shinozaki house. He often came to the house to have secret meetings with the hag, so he wasn't suspicious at all. I invited Uncle Yoshida into the living room. I served him a cup of tea and told him I was going to fetch the hag. I left the room and killed some time down the hallway. Granny will be here shortly after she gets dressed. She might take a while. Oh, that's okay. I'll just wait. Uncle Yoshida relaxed as he sipped his cup of tea. I sat next to him. I think she wants to talk to you about Shion. I mentioned my name and watched for his reaction. Uncle Yoshida looked so grim. I couldn't even tell if he heard me. I decided to continue speaking until he reacted in some way. You remember the incident from last year with Shion, yes? She became friendly with people of the Hojo family. She was forgiven and after ripping out her fingernails, wasn't she? Yes. 3 nails. Uncle Kimiyoshi folded his arms and thought for a while. Where is Shion-chan now? In the basement. How is she doing? Uncle Yoshida sounded worried. When I heard that, I felt relieved that Uncle Yoshida was on my side. His anger in the assembly hall was just an act. She has been crying. Mion-chan? Tell me, what is Oreo going to do with Shion-chan? She hasn't told me any details. As you know, Granny becomes awfully quiet when she is truly furious. Going into the ritual storehouse, huh? Furthermore, it's her own granddaughter. That's a tough decision to make. Uncle Kimiyoshi thought that the hag must be unsure of what to do with Shion. What do you think? What do you think will happen to Shion? Well, I'm sure it'll be far more than just 3 nails this time. Knowing how Oreo is, she won't hold back just because it's her granddaughter. Actually, she might be even more harsh, especially because they're related. Yes, she did go into the ritual storehouse. That's not something that can be forgiven so easily. Indeed, it's sacred after all. But in a way, maybe it's not fair to Shion. She has been away from Himazawa, as you know. I'm sure she knew she wasn't supposed to trespass in the ritual storehouse, but maybe she didn't know how forbidden it was. Yeah, that's true, poor Shion-chan. Other than the tattoo on my back, how would you tell the difference between Shion and me? There isn't one. There's no point in distinguishing between me and Shion in the first place. Twins are proof of bad luck. One should be eliminated as soon as they are born. Such is the family of Crescent. The hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I came out of the room. That's how the story went, at least. In the end, the hag didn't kill me, but instead pretending I didn't exist. She forced us out to call one of us Mion and the other one Shion. She adored Mion and hated Shion. My sister and I never understood why we had to go to do that. We didn't care who was Mion or Shion. So one day we came up with an idea. We decided to share the joy Mion experienced and sadness Shion experienced. We often switched places. We were both Mion and at the same time we were both Shion. Adults around us tried to put different clothes on us or style our hairs differently so they can tell us apart. That was nonsense. No matter what they did to us, what we had to do was switch places and nobody could tell us apart. Finally they decided that we switched places because we were always together. On that day, Shion got to go to an amusement park. Since then, we've been separated. Amusement park. Is that what they said? Mion-chan, I can't even imagine what happened to Shion. Whatever it is Granny decides to do, I'm not in a position to say anything about it. She doesn't listen to her relatives. You're right. That's something Aryo needs to work on. If Shion wasn't Shinzaki, she would have been dead a long time ago. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of punishment might be equal to death. Even if she isn't killed, she'll probably never see the light of day again. In other words, she'll be demoned away. Mion-chan, does Shion-chan regret what she's done? Yes. In response, Uncle Yoshiro tapped my shoulders and then slapped his own chest. He smiled reliably. Don't worry. If Shion-chan feels bad about what she's done, she won't be demoned away. Leave it to me. Really? I'm sure Aryo will be furious to hear me say anything, but I won't give up. I'll explain to her that Shion-chan regrets what she's done, and I'll beg her for forgiveness. Tears began to fall from my eyes. I knew Uncle Kimiyoshi was my ally after all. He said he would forgive Shion. He was my ally. I was so very happy. Are you sure? Are you sure she won't be demoned away like Satoshi Hojo-kun last year? Uncle Kimiyoshi smiled reliably again and told me he was a brat of the Hojo family. This is a Shion-chan of the Shinzaki family we're talking about. Of course she'll be forgiven. Huh? A brat of the Hojo family? Are you talking about Satoshi-kun? Last year's victim? Those Hojo people. They were traitors who tried to sell out the whole village. Of course she got demoned away. He was a Hojo after all. Huh? 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 The Hojo people should all be cursed. Only people like them get demoned away. Shion-chan will be okay. It won't happen to someone like her. Uncle, didn't Shion take care of that? Was Satoshi-kun last year? Wasn't he supposed to be forgiven? Take care of that? What do you mean? Remember the 3 nails? She removed 3 of her nails. One of them was probably for herself, actually. Keisei-san, Uncle, Yorishiro, and then Satoshi-kun, 3 people. She removed 3 nails for 3 people. Eh? So that was why it was 3 nails, huh? Huh? What? Wasn't that the significance of those 3 nails? Yeah, you're right. There were 3 people involved, hence the 3 nails. I heard that too. But what? Keisei-san, Yoshiro, and Shio-chan. That makes 3. What? Eh? What? Huh? What? I enjoyed, excruciating pain. The first one was my left pinky, then the ring finger, and then the middle finger. People held me down so I couldn't move, but I endured. I had to endure 3 nails. I didn't know which nail was for Satoshi-kun. If my middle finger was for Satoshi-kun, I'd have to endure until the middle finger was done, so that Satoshi-kun would be forgiven. See, I thought something like that was gonna happen. Because, obviously she would need to be forgiven as well. That was why I endured. Even Mion said afterwards. I think I said it, but I don't know if I just thought it in my head. Mion said afterwards everything was forgiven, huh? 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 Mion, did you say Satoshi-kun was forgiven? Didn't you? That's what I heard. I think that's what I heard. Or did I? Eh? Eh? Huh? I felt the air move. There was something... There shouldn't have been a breeze in that room, but I felt it anyway. The cool air stroked the back of my neck. That was when my true self stood right behind me and nodded. Although there was no wind, my hair billowed. The burning wickedness burned deep inside my eyes and became visible. Why do you think Satoshi Hojo got demoned away? Eh? Satoshi's parents did in fact try to sell out the village. They deserved the curse of Orishiro-sama, but Satoshi was simply their son. But what has he done? Mion-chan, I'm asking you what kind of crime Satoshi-kun committed. You said earlier that he deserved to be demoned away because he was born of the Hojo family. What has he done to deserve being demoned away? Kimiyoshi didn't know what to say to the sudden question. He seemed, dismayed. I didn't hear her say it, but I know. It was Orio's Shinazaki's decision. She decided the curse of Orishiro-sama would fall on all the Hojos. Wait, Mion-chan, that's not true. Didn't she decide that? No, she didn't. The curse of Orishiro-sama falls upon the Hojos. I do remember talking about something like that, but we never decided that. Nobody did. Then, why did you say because he was the Hojos earlier? Sorry, Mion. That was, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. That's just it. Anything that happens to the Hojo family is the curse. As long as somebody has the Hojo name, nobody cares about what happens to the person. The idea spread like a virus among all the villagers. It It didn't matter if Satoshi Hojo did anything or not, because he was a Hojo, because he was filthy. That injection of an idea is the entire problem, and you all believed in that idea. You couldn't even think straight anymore. I can't forgive you. I can't let someone like you exist. People like you corner Satoshi-kun and his family for Satoshi-kun. What has he done? Hasn't done anything. He was a Hojo, that's all. What kind of a crime is that? Why did the curse fall upon him? What kind of crime has he committed? What? Kimiyashi's upper body bent backwards and fell onto the floor. That was that. I put my stun gun back into my pocket. Sorry, Shion. What was that you just said? Apparently Sakana-san and Tomitaka-san died last night. Well, I'm calling Kichi now. Sakana-san was found burnt to death. Tomitaka-san, it looked like a suicide. I found out this morning. I heard my father talking to a relative on the phone about it. As though Kichi didn't know anything about what happened after the festival last night. Because it's not getting reported by the media, that's how it was in the past too. Kichi insisted that unless he heard about it on the news it couldn't be real. But the investigation into the series of mysterious deaths are done in secret now. Of course you didn't hear anything about it on the news. I hear the mayor and several important politicians from the Shinozaki family put all the pressure they could on the police. Then you mean that deaths are going to be dealt with in total secrecy? That's how it is. Of course the police are still investigating. That's being performed in secret too. So I hear the investigation itself is very restricted in what it can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with the police investigation. I can't believe this. People died and yet they're dealing with everything in secret? If you break it down further, it means that no matter who dies on the night of Higurashi, it won't go public. That's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard. Ki-chan, remember how I said before that the villagers could be the ones carrying out Orishida-sama's curse? That's what I mean. At some point, a tradition was created here in Himizawa, where every year we were allowed to kill someone on the night of Higurashi. Yes, that's the truth about the series of mysterious deaths in Himizawa, also known as Orishida-sama's curse. On the day of Higurashi, 2 people would be killed. The perpetrators are using the curse of Orishida-sama as an excuse to kill one victim and make another disappear. That's why the curse of Orishida-sama takes place. That's what happens in Himizawa, and that's what happens with the curse. What Kimiyashi said is all true. Infecting everyone with the idea that the enemy from the dam conflict deserves to die was the root of all of this. I wonder which phone call Kichi shouts at me. That was the system of vague commands used in the Shinozaki family created by its head, Obio. One thing that must be mentioned about that command system is that the person giving the orders and the one executing them didn't need to interact in any way. Though Obio was the commander, she never gave actual orders. She only had to expect something to happen. Every single one of the family council members around her would want to satisfy that expectation if given the chance. They didn't have to be proactive about satisfying it. They could be passive too, and when the chance arose, anyone who knew Obio's intention could potentially become the one to execute her orders. Therefore, Obio would never know who actually executed her orders, and none of the relatives knew either. But they all knew things would conclude just as Obio wanted, and they could assume it was one of their own who did it for her. This passive support system was thoroughly effective, and spread all over the village. Its ties became even tighter after the dam conflict. Anyone could be the one to execute Obio's orders, therefore everyone supported each other. If something did happen, then the others would try to satisfy Obio's expectations in different ways. For example, they would come up with false evidence or otherwise passively interfere with an investigation. Even if they didn't know exactly who they were protecting, they still worked together to protect whoever it was. Yes, I finally figured out how it all worked. Phrasing it in a more organized matter, it would go as follows. The system of killing 2 people who were unwanted by the village each year required 3 elements. The first element was a region of solidarity. It was created during the long and unique history of Himizawa. The villagers' bonds became even tighter during the dam conflict. That was one of the conditions for this place to have a curse. It was an element that was already in the region, not one that could be created. The next element was having the same moral standards. This was a very important element as the curse wouldn't have happened without it. Also, this element was created by Oriyo Shinzaki herself. That was why she could claim that this system was established by her own will. Having the same moral standards mean that everyone around acknowledged the same enemy. Even when everyone in the village joined together, it would be meaningless if they didn't all know exactly who the enemy was. During the dam conflict, Oriyo Shinzaki made the identity of the enemy very clear to everyone. They couldn't say that they were against the dam construction and the government was their enemy. That wasn't clear enough. The government didn't really pinpoint who the enemy was, but Oriyo made enemies out of the construction site itself. Therefore, as manager, she chose targets that the village could see with their own eyes. They were clear and easy to understand. The villagers acknowledged that everyone at the dam construction site was their enemy, and that construction site manager was the enemy commander. Using the same method, she labeled one after another as the enemy of the village, particularly cataloging a list of enemies to print into the villagers' minds. Earlier, I had to use the word infecting for this phenomenon. Those infected by this idea were people unconsciously given the orders to commit murder. When the infection spread across the village, when all of Himazawa residents acknowledged the same enemy, that's when Himazawa itself became a murderer. Oriyo combined with those two elements a solidarity of region and having the same moral standards, then selected the enemy and spread that notion throughout the village. We saw three elements though. The law would normally have punished both when it committed the crime and the one who gave the order. The obvious system didn't require an order at all. Oriyo just had to become concerned about the enemy she had selected, but that alone wouldn't cause the curse to take place. Oriyo's concern was like a safety device, and even when the device was turned off, the curse wouldn't occur unless someone pulled the trigger. The last necessary element was to set a date for the execution, the night of Higurashi, the night to burn out Orishida-sama, the guardian deity of Himazawa, and the night the curse of Orishida-sama falls upon two enemies of the village, and they disappear. Everyone in the village acknowledges that as a fact. In other words, if the same incident took place on any of the other 364 nights of the village, it would be seen nothing more than a murder case. But if it happened on the night of Higurashi, then it would transform into the curse of Orishida-sama. The idea that the villagers were allowed to kill their enemies on the night of Higurashi had infected them. The villagers were the cell of this huge creature called Himazawa, and each cell would be taught who the enemy was. That day was given a green light for whoever was in the best position to kill the enemy. That was the truth of Orishida-sama's curse of Orishida-sama. Therefore, the one who was actually killed, who actually killed Satoshi-kun, wasn't my enemy. The one who set up the murderous system, and the one who named Satoshi-kun's family as the enemy is my enemy. To use a more broader definition, Himazawa itself and the very system of Orishida-sama's curse is my enemy. I already killed the hag, the one who designed the system. Kimiyashi, the one whose job is to infect the villagers with the system, was already in my hands. I just had to find out who was involved and how much. It was like putting a weed while being very careful not to break the roots. Why do I kill Vika? Just because she's another one of the heads. And announced that Kichimabara was one of the people who snuck into the shrine storage. I was certain that that fact had already spread throughout the underside of the village. In other words, Kichimabara was an object of curse of Orishida-sama now. Takano-san and Tomitaka-san were found dead, having been killed in gruesome ways. That was the curse of Orishida-sama. In that case, they could demon away 2 more people as sacrifices to calm the anger of Orishida-sama. The set date for the curse was already over, but just like what happened to Satoshi-kun, demoning away was allowed a little extra time. Something would happen to Kichimabara within a few days. I'd wait patiently, careful to not let my enemy simply take Kichimabara my bait. Kichi had been yelling at the side of on the other end of the phone for some time. He kept yelling that he didn't want to go into the ritual storehouse to begin with. He claimed that he was simply invited by Takano-san and me. He shouldn't be in danger because of that, he said. He was feeling a sense of crisis and tension. This was going to work. The livelier the bait, the easier it is to spot. Why the hell did you do that? I didn't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you gonna do, damn it? How are you gonna take responsibility for this, huh? Hey, are you listening? Shut up, I've had enough of your pitiful tears. I hung up the phone. There was no point in talking to him. when he got like that. Besides, I'd already achieved my goal, which was to make him realize the danger awaiting him. I took a deep breath, then called the house of the village chief. Hello? Kimiyoshi residence. This is Shinazaki. So, did you find the mayor? Oh, it's you, Mion-chan. We've been calling everyone, but no luck. We can't find him. I don't know anyone. I don't know who else to call. I wonder where he is. We've called a few places too, but nothing. I talked to Granny and she says we should have the youth group look for him. At this time of night, of this time of day? Besides, we aren't even sure if he's really missing. It's right after watching Higurashi. She just thinks we should be cautious. If the youth group can't find him, then we should call the police first thing in the morning. We'd rather not get the police involved unless we really have to, though. Did Obio-san say that? Yes. If you don't believe me, I'll have her get on the phone. Oh no, I understand. Okay, we'll gather the youth group and look for him. If they can't find him, we'll call the police in the morning. Please call, the leaders of the youth group then. I'll be right over in Granny's place. Thank you. I'll get everyone together right away. Okay. I'll see you later. The youth group had gathered at the Furudu shrine. They were going to find the mayor. I also had to go, in the absence of the hag. I'm going to be with Kimiyoshi. Just to be mean, I stopped by the underground torture room to let the mayor know that I was headed to the Furudu shrine to search for him. Incidentally, according to the tab on the keychain, this underground torture room is actually called the underground storage house for ritual implements. This was the man who was yelling that whoever trespassed on the ritual storeroom house should be killed. Although it was an underground ritual storehouse, he was there now, atoning for what he had done. It's pretty ironic. Maybe I was the one who felt that way, though. How are you doing, Uncle Kimiyoshi? Think. Kimiyoshi didn't say a word, but he made a noise with the chain. Everyone is making such a fuss because they couldn't find you. Your family called me, so I suggested they gather the youth group to look for you. I'm heading over there now. Was this mean or what? Kimiyoshi could only make a noise with the chain. He couldn't even express any emotion other than anguish. Is the chain too short? Why don't I make it longer every time you give an answer to a question? If it's even a little longer, you'll feel better. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh. Yoshi's hands were tied behind his back with a tight wire. He was wearing a leather collar with a chain which was strapped tightly around his neck too. The collar chain was on a pulley attached to the ceiling, with the chain pulling up him upwards. That chain was very short and pulling very tightly, so did he have to stand up this whole time? Kiyoshi had to stand on his tiptoes to be able to breathe. He had been like that for almost an hour already. He was already exhausted. If I left him overnight, he'd probably hang himself. You told me earlier that you didn't know. But I'll ask you one more time. Please tell me anything you know about Satoshi Hojo-kun. Oh, sorry. You can't even talk, can you? I loosened the chain a little, just so while we chat. I turned the pulley so to loosen the chain that was pulling on Kimiyoshi's neck. Kimiyoshi's heels finally touched the ground, relieving the pressure on his muscles. I really don't know, Shion-chan. I really don't know. Don't you even know if he's dead or alive? I really don't know anything. Well, I guess that's how the curse system of Misawa works. Suppose you really don't know anything. Okay, then I'll change the question. As the head of the Kimiyoshi family, I'd like you to tell me, what do you think happened to Satoshi-kun? Is Satoshi-kun dead or alive? Kimiyoshi didn't know what to say. If he said he didn't know, I'd tighten the chain and leave the room. That would be like a death sentence for him. But all I said was that I wanted him to speak as the head of the Kimiyoshi family. I didn't ask him to tell the truth, but he didn't know what to say to avoid souring my mood and to get me to loosen the chain around him. He was obviously trying to figure out how to make me extend the chain. I've heard a rumor that he may be alive. Oh, about him going to Tokyo on a bullet train, right? The police have seen him in Tokyo, or something like that. Rishi had told me that Satoshi-kun had been witnessed getting on a bullet train heading to Tokyo at Nagiowa Station. But the police didn't know if that really happened or what happened or what became of Satoshi-kun after that. Therefore, this was simply a random assertion of Kimiyoshi's. I wonder if we're ever going to find out about that. Probably not, but maybe. Can I become Satoshi? Hey, head of the Kimiyoshi, what would be the point in letting one of the cursed family members live after going through the trouble of making him disappear? I don't think there's any reason for that. Well, there's no real point in becoming actually there kind of is, because I don't know why Satoshi was so randomly like against the Shinozaki family at the end, like just before he died. I don't think there's any reason for that. What would be the point of letting one of the cursed family members live after going through the trouble of making him disappear? I don't think there's any reason for that. Besides, who gave you this information? I was in the close contact with Uchi for a while, but he never mentioned it to me, Uncle. If you're just saying this to make me happy, it's not going to work. You know that, don't you? I reached for the pulley system to control the chain around Kimiyoshi, and that act alone sent him into a panic as he feared that tightening once more. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you angry, Jian-chan, I'm sorry. I don't have time for this. I'm simply asking you to help me look for Satoshi-kun, that's all. I... I... I know, I... I know that. I'll answer you. I took my hand off the pulley. Seeing that Kimiyoshi began making loud groans noises, try and show me he was thinking hard. Be frank with me. Do you think he's alive or dead? I think you shouldn't think he's alive. That figures. There's no point in letting him live, right? I agree with you. I really didn't mean anything too deep by it, but what I said truly scared Kimiyoshi. The priest think he ran, using the money he saved to buy Shitoko's birthday present, because he was the main suspect of his aunt's murder. What do you think about that? Well, I heard that the culprit was some kind of drug addict. What do you think about that? Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I believe Satoshi-kun is the culprit. The drug addict was probably a decoy they had arranged. I've suspected as much. That guy appeared out of nowhere. I didn't understand it at the time. So he was a decoy. I'm pretty sure. Why do you think that, though? The police were investigating the case and Satoshi was the prime suspect, wasn't he? If he was going to be demoted away, she didn't want the police to continue the investigation, I guess. What Kimiyoshi just said is very interesting. He's perfectly correct. If the police continued their investigation, it would complicate things for whoever demoted away Satoshi-kun. Therefore, the hack came up with a decoy in order to bring an end to their investigation. But fabricating a subject can't be that easy, don't you agree? The only person who can do something like that is Oryo-san. I knew the hag was very powerful in the underside of Kimizawa, but I never knew she was that powerful. I'm sure you've heard quite a few rumors during the dam conflict. Did you also hear things directly? During the dam protest, I actually saw them issuing orders to my relatives, like destroy their heavy machinery or carry up checkpoints to blockade their construction vehicles. They set their comrades they set free their comrades from the police by coming up with alibis, destroying or forging evidence. I'd seen relatives do these things, as well as the hag calling in councillors to the house to protest. I think someone killing himself with a spork is slightly different than this, but whatever. As a child, I was pretty impressed. But when I thought back, it was more than that. She was truly the mastermind who controlled the underside of the world. You've heard about the kidnapping case of the minister of the grandson of the minister of construction, right? So it was really, it was really kidnapping her. And the grandson was demoted away and then found in the middle of the mountains of Takioto or Yagiyushi. That was at Oryo-san's command. Mr. promised to stop the dam construction and the grandson was released. All the top people in the ex-Guardians knew that. I guess I was right in the middle of it when it happened, but I didn't notice. The Hag of the Three Families and the ex-Guardians are truly magnificent, huh? How terrifying. Kimiyoshi finally realized the situation he was in, and he was answering my questions that made me happy, but the more Kimiyoshi told me the truth, the more I realized Satoshi-kun really was dead. That made me very sad. Who actually demoted away Satoshi-kun? I don't know. We were never to ask who will actually execute Oryo-san's orders. He was right. That was how the system worked, and so that was a bad question. Whoever it was did a great job because his body hasn't been found. That's not easy. Putting aside who actually killed him, it is possible Oryo has helped to get rid of the body. You know about the wildfire down here, the one who used to dump bodies, don't you? Yeah, I do. It's a lot safer to dump a body in the wild than to bury it in the mountains. Whoever disappears becomes a sacrifice to calm the anger of Orishida-sama. That was the rule of this game. Therefore, the bodies must never be discovered. That's why the bodies has to be dumped somewhere. Nobody could find them. It's very possible that the well was used for that. Then, Satoshi-kun is at the bottom of that well. I grabbed a flashlight and headed to the huge cave with all the cells. As I turned on the light in the cave, Mion noticed me and gave me a worried look. I ignored her and headed to the cell in the back. I was still very impressed by how the well was hidden. It was almost artistic. I shone the flashlight at the bottom of the well. I had no way of knowing how deep the well was. The light of the flashlight wasn't strong enough to reach the bottom. I inhaled, then screamed into the well. Satoshi-kun, Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun's name echoed again and again. It was obviously a very deep well. I thought of climbing down and using the wedges on the wall. But with the flashlight hanging from my neck, I couldn't light my footing properly. I knew even if there was enough lighting, I didn't even know if the wedges were sturdy enough. It would be like committing suicide. Satoshi-kun was at the bottom of this well. That's when I felt it. A warm hand rubbed my head for sure. Shion, you finally found me. Satoshi-kun, Satoshi-kun, Satoshi-kun. I've been looking for you for so long. I'm sorry I couldn't find you while you were still alive. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, Shion. There was nothing you could have done before I was killed. But you did everything you could after I died. This is Satoshi-kun, I want to join you. I'm coming right now. I'm gonna jump, so please catch me. Satoshi-kun smiled bitterly. I was saddened to see him reject me. Shion, I'm happy you found me. But you are alive, Shion. It's so important to be alive, you can't waste it. If you aren't here, I don't want to live. I want to be with you, Satoshi-kun. I want to be close to you. I want you to rub my head again. I want to spend time with you. I'll be a good girl. I want to be with you. Live. Do I have to? Live and enjoy your life, okay? What's so fun about living alone? You'll find out. So live as long as you're alive. To live, I will live. I will live. The eerie well now felt warm. I wasn't allowed to go down to the bottom, but the edge of this well was the place where you and I could meet. Higurashi, maybe? No, seems like something else is gonna happen, because the sound just cut off. Yeah, okay. Mion, Satoshi-kun, I found him. He's at the bottom of the well, isn't he? I think so. I can't think of anywhere else he would be. Mion started to sob. You weren't there when Satoshi-kun was killed, were you? No. If you were there, would you have begged the hag to forgive him? Yes, I would have begged her to let him live. Liar. Eh? You liar! On that day a year ago, I had just recalled how cool Mion was then, when she forced me to rip out my own nails, acting in a role as a successor. Even if she was there when Satoshi-kun was killed, she wouldn't have stopped being the successor. Satoshi-kun was brought to the torture room. When he saw Mion, I'm sure he would have thought she would save him. Even as he heard the family head reach read out his death sentence, I'm sure he looked at Mion and believed that she would save him. He believed Mion was acting that way only because she was with her relatives. He believed she would help him, but she didn't do anything. He was strapped to a restraining device, yet she wouldn't do anything. Mion was cruel. Mion, isn't it about time to help me? I see. I get it. You're with the rest of the family members, so you can't even show a hint of compassion. That sucks. Wow. Help him. Help him. Why? Why didn't you help him? You saw him looking at you begging, didn't you? Why didn't you help him? Even when he was going through a tough time, because of his awful aunt, you didn't help him. You pretended to sympathize, but you didn't help him. You ignored him. He was cornered because you didn't help him. I tried. I tried to support him. Even when you didn't protect him from his killing aunt, I did. I sacrificed myself to fight for him. 3 nails was nothing, but it wasn't enough to rescue Satoshi-kun. I couldn't help him. Do you know why? Because I was Shion then. As Shion, I was kept away from Himizawa and nobody told me anything. I couldn't know anything. But you were different. You were Mion. You were right in the middle of everything, and you knew everything, and everyone told you everything. Without you, I would have helped Satoshi-kun. I would have. But you were Mion. Give it back, Mion. That name isn't yours. It's mine too. Besides, it was mine to begin with, remember? I just let you be Mion, remember? It was mine. Give it back to me. Give me my name back. I can't stand that. You don't look like Mion. If I were Mion then... Ah! I kicked the bars. I kicked them again and again. Mion curled up fearfully in the back of the cell. as if she was trying to prevent the boss from crashing down onto her. Oh, is this the end? Oh, it is. Is this why I, truly became Mion? Because I want power now. Notebook page 188. I think you maybe? It's gonna be on this side, isn't it? It's on this side. Find your own news. Took another step into the journey of revenge. Okay, 188. After that, I joined the youth group in the search for Kimiyoshi. I went down the town council's phone directory and called to see if he had visited. Then I had the group split accordingly to the circular uh, uh, notice division and send them to search the town. Notice, I couldn't say notice. Everyone seemed to be assuming they wouldn't find him, but since I knew they definitely never would, it was just bothersome to me. Even after midnight, they were also enthusiastically looking for him. I pulled the sleeplessness while yawning. Then I heard someone whisper, "Last year, we did the same thing when Satoshi Hojo went missing." The youth group was looking for someone who would never be found, just like last year. I was yawning because I knew this. Last year, there must also have been some people who were yawning and grinning on the inside. When did we stop searching last year? Do you remember? Hmm? When Satoshi Hojo was missing? Oh, what time was it? I guess I was around midnight. It was already 2 in the morning. But though they spent this much time searching for Kimiyoshi, they didn't do the same when Satoshi went missing. After all, some people knew they wouldn't find him. They must have been sleepy. They must have said they should just leave it to the police. Shit. I want to kill the people who said that. Too bad you can't. Cause like, yeah, the curse system worked as you already said. Ah, alright then. I wonder how I'm gonna kill everyone else, but Kimiyoshi death was pretty alright, I guess. Well, he's not dead, is he? He's still alive. Mion said, well, Shion, well no, Mion I guess? Mion at the end of chapter 2 said I killed everyone in front of them, and I should stop torturing everyone. But I haven't really done that in front of Mion, I guess. I don't know which one to call Mion. Should I call the new Mion? Or I should just call the new Mion Shion, because that's what their original name was. And the old Mion. But yeah, that's be it for this time, so bye bye.